Welcome to all of our YouTube viewers and you powerboating enthusiasts out there who just can't get enough of this stuff. It's high-speed thrills with members of the Florida Powerboat Club as we return for part 2 now of feature coverage of the Orange Beach Powerboat Week 2019 edition from Orange Beach, Alabama, just across the Florida state line, where we rendezvoused in late May for a 5-day powerboating festival along these beautiful Alabama coastal waters. And let's begin by thanking our key sponsors, beginning with Mercury Racing, also our partner here on this beautiful Project 1080 38-foot cigarette powered by Mercury Racing 540 stern drives. And of course, special thanks to the wharf here at Orange Beach, our headquarters for the Orange Beach Powerboat Week, which is setting the stage to happen for many years to come. And let's just give all of our viewers a quick recap of our previous episode, number 1, with feature coverage of the early events here in this Powerboat Week format, which began on Wednesday evening with this Trucks and Boats Parade, which rolled right down Main Street of this amazing resort community. And by Thursday morning, the boats were rolling in at the Boggy Point boat ramp just a few miles from the wharf, so we could get started with our 3-day boating agenda, starting with a Thursday fun run and a little romp out into the Gulf Coast waters. Of course, we took advantage of those protected intracoastal waters by heading eastbound and having lunch at this amazing Sunset Grill, just one of dozens of great waterfront locations that are located throughout this Orange Beach boating community. And as always, we go boating by day, but we have activities by night. And after docking the boats here at the Wharf Marina, it was just a few steps to our hotels or condos for a quick change and then a rendezvous at the port with the Miss Powerboat Week contest on the agenda. And Friday morning, a big event on the agenda as more teams have rolled into town here at the wharf, and our event has now swelled up to more than 40 registered teams for the Friday Fun Run and the Saturday event. A good chance here to take a great look at the facilities. We have plenty of parking for the trucks and trailers and a huge marina, all a floating dock facility, very professionally managed, and that's what has made the wharf such a great location. But it's all about safety today as we get out on the waterways, so let's check in on the captain's safety meeting, which took place at the Spring Hill Suites next door.
So let me begin really with the pleasantries about this event. We decided that Alabama was a great place to go boating. I think you all agree that the wharf is the ideal venue. We've had this conversation. Scott Favre and I had this conversation. Scott says, you know, my family's got this place called the Wharf and it's coming along pretty good and I think it'd be great for a poker run. So we seized that opportunity together, came up with this idea of having this event here at the Wharf. So this is a safety meeting. So let's get right down to the nitty-gritty of safety. It's going to be a poker run format. We're not going to spend a lot of time getting poker cards, but it's a poker run format under poker run guidelines. Same thing for tomorrow. Different locations, but basically the same concept. So you all are doing 2 poker runs. We're going to do the stop off the dock here as we depart off the T-head, hand you a card. You're going to keep on going eastbound on the ICW. 2 is Mr. Favre's house, Scott's dad's house. It's right near the inlet. So Boggy Point Ramp was where most of you launch. It's at the very end of Marina Road. There's a giant house there with a giant sport fish. When I say giant, I mean giant. Jumbo, big, massive, giant, big house. Okay. 92 Viking in its own boathouse, its own boat shed, covered boathouse, okay? That's where we're going. We're going to do that card right off that dock, okay? From there, we're going to go offshore. We didn't go offshore yesterday. Why? Because it was windy. Today, the winds are 6 miles an hour out the south-southwest. Remember, there was a helicopter today. Now, the helicopter is not going to leave here until we're through the idle speed zone over there. So, but wait for the helicopter. Remember, you can't take off without the helicopter. Then once we get going, then we get up to the Pensacola Inlet. We're coming in the inlet, back into the ICW, and then eastbound to Pensacola.
And just one more final point about safety and why it's so important on these events. Remember that we have quite a variety of boats now attending these poker run events, like this very fast catamaran, and of course a variety of center console power boats, performance V-bottoms, and the faster cats. So we have speed classes that vary from 50 miles an hour to about 150 miles per hour. extremely important to manage these different classes, keep these boats separated from each other, and have everyone running in a group that's more suited to them. So that's how we keep things safe. And the rest, well, of course, that's up to you guys, the drivers here with these magnificent boats. And most of you are very experienced boaters, very responsible boaters. And that's why the track record for safety is excellent with the Florida Powerboat Club, as it has been for many, many years. So let's talk about today and all the fun we're going to have on the water. Remember, it's Friday, and we have got a complete poker run format, starting with this first card right off the docks here at the wharf. And we are going to head eastbound, heading down the Intracoastal Waterway after our first poker card, out into the Gulf waters, and arriving at Pensacola Beach for a lunch stop. So enjoy these sights and sounds of what is becoming a very fun day on the water for about 45 poker run teams.
What's up with the Keys family? Hey, hey. How you doing? All right. Everybody having fun? All right.
So as Octavio Valdivia gets his poker card here, we want to first say thank you to our poker run ladies, Andrea and Tesla, for doing a great job of handing out those poker run cards. They're going to jump on board the Project 1080 cigarette with Jackie and I as we join the group and head eastbound for this exciting day of boating on Alabama coastal waters. And I'd like to thank our local safety boat. This is piloted by Rob Reese, who's a local boater here in Orange Beach. This 32-foot Intrepid is going to be one of our official safety boats with the Orange Beach Fire Department on board. And along with our U.S. Coast Guard patrols, we're going to have a great fleet patrolling today's event. And our photo and video crew flying today with Lost Bay helicopters in this R-44. We're going to have Ryan Kristen on board shooting video, and Reggie shooting the photo stills as they are scheduled to rendezvous with the rest of the group as they pick up card number 2 here at Mr. Art Favre's beautiful residence that includes this 92-foot Viking sportfish yacht called the Work of Art. And the fleet continues to grow as some of the local boats have been scheduled to rendezvous with us here for this card stop at Mr. Favre's house. And what I like about this location, aside from it being a beautiful home, an incredible one at that, is that if you look off in the distance, there's the inlet. So it's just a hop, skip, and a jump around the point, and you're out into the Gulf Coast waters, which makes this such a great location and a perfect stopover point to get our poker cards. And even though we are not technically allowed to play in the poker run, it's always nice to get a poker card just for fun. There's Jackie up on the deck. And that was the wharf team on the dock with Mr. Art Favre himself in the blue shirt, and our very spirited Marissa Everhart, who joins us on many of these Florida Powerboat Club events. And I have to say that the helicopter pilot did a great job of getting up really high so that we could capture these scenic aerials just to show everybody just how beautiful it is. We're just inside the inlet here. You can see the different waterways going in various directions. A lot of shoals, but the color of the water is amazing. It reminds me a lot of Destin and the Emerald Coast Poker Run, which takes place in August. And in many ways, this Orange Beach Powerboat Week has really, copycatted that event. And by design, we wanted it to be that way because it's such a great event. And one of the members who we met at the Emerald Coast Poker Run years ago is Nate Michelle and his wife Robin, who are showing off their brand new to them anyway, 40-foot MTI, which they spent 2 years redoing completely. It was formerly the movie boat, as we know, Team Mojo, and that's when Nate bought it and made a little splash on the Emerald Coast Poker Run before putting her into the shop and doing this complete restaurant. Nice to have Nate, Robin, and their son Grant along for a family day on the boat. And we've seen quite a bit of this 50 outer limits on Florida Powerboat Club events. Special thanks to Scott Farr for helping us set up this event with his father. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but of course spends a lot of time here in Orange Beach, Alabama, because he gets to hang out at that nice pad that we just saw. Game On is a 50 SL powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. It doesn't get much better than this if you love doing poker runs and you love going fast like Scott does. And I would like to thank Matt Borsina for coming all the way from Long Island, New York to join us with his 36-foot Wright Performance Cat, Team Low C. This is just before it went and got some graphics, because when we saw it back in the fall, it had a nice blue stripe down the side. And let's welcome Alabama natives Mike and Angela Goldbaugh and their 36-foot skater, Team Late Fees. They've come a long way from when they started in the Florida Powerboat Club at Emerald Coast many years ago. They were V-bottom boaters for many years until they fell in love with this skater. And keeping the international flavor of this event strong, Frank and Grazia Bolti came all the way from France to join us. They've got a home in Fort Lauderdale, but they traveled from France just so they could be here on their first ever Orange Beach Powerboat Week with their 44 MTI. And we know that you horsepower junkies out there just love the sound of those monster V8s on Donovan and Tammy Johnson's 34 DCB Team Rumboy, another team from Louisiana, so they're in good company today with a lot of their friends. Nice to have them here on this event with a beautiful DCB. And it's time to welcome Chris Bazer from Grander Marine here in this Fountain 43 NX model, the new center console powered by Quad Mercury Racing 400Rs. And special thanks to Grander Marine for jumping on, along with the factory sponsorship from Fountain Powerboats, to be here represented at this poker run event in Fountain's new flagship center console model. And this has got to be one of the fastest DCBs I've ever seen. Chad Havens and his lovely gal Chrissy Reese alongside. He's throttling, she's driving, and they came a long way from Texas to be here to show their support. And now let's say hi to Shane Morrow and his crew from Louisiana. Team Catch and Hell is a 38-foot Don ZR, and not his first rodeo. We've seen Shane a number of times in the past, where he's joined us for the Emerald Coast Poker Run in Destin. And let's welcome a former NASCAR driver, Kyle Fowler from Georgia, with his 38-foot Fountain powered by Mercury Racing 525s. Kyle makes boating a family affair. He's got mom and dad riding along. And speaking of mom and dad, this couple have already got grown-up kids, so it's time for them to get out and play a lot more. And that's exactly what they're doing. Tim and Lynn Archambault sold their 34-foot Sensation and got themselves a fast outer limits so they can go on poker runs and have a blast. Lawrence Coelho Jr., all the way from California, joined us in his 28-foot DCB, one of two single-engine boats registered for the poker run. He came all the way from California to join us, but that's nothing for Lawrence. He'll do 24 poker runs in the course of a year. Let's say hi to Chris Giroux from Louisiana, 35-foot Fountain Team Light 'em Up. Love the graphics on this boat. It is a true traditional fountain, which he keeps in great shape. This is a very spirited crew, and they always have a blast on these poker run events. Now let's say hi to Eric and Jenna Ellsworth from Kentucky. They brought their 32-foot Spectre to join us, and were part of the Stephen and Kelly Marino team who sponsored this event with their company, Team Alacomp, a provider of workmen's compensation insurance programs. And this is a very rare Ocean Express catamaran operated by Wes Harlow from Pensacola, Florida, Team Booty Shaker. We first met Wes back a few years ago on the Emerald Coast Poker Run, Since then, he moved up from a 26-foot single-engine boat to this big 38-foot catamaran. And speaking of big catamarans, I believe this is the biggest one here on the run. Jeff Layton from Alabama in his 48 Skater, which was completely redone just recently. Team Layton Chevrolet. It's powered by Mercury Racing 1350s, has fresh graphics, and is just a beautiful boat in every way. Robert and Trish Keys are from Mississippi, and they joined us here in their 28-foot Eliminator Team Stress Release. We first met them on the Biloxi Smoke and the Sound run a few years earlier with a much smaller cat, and they always make it a family affair with all of their kids on board for the ride. Now let's say hi to Dr. Jason Parker in his 399 Deep Impact Team Maverick. He's made a big splash at several poker runs with the Florida Powerboat Club since he took delivery of the boat about 2 years earlier. And here's a nice shot of our lunch destination at Pensacola Beach. I call it the Quiet Waters Beach Boardwalk, actually. And it's a familiar sight because anybody who's attended the Emerald Coast Poker Run, well, yes, indeed, we go here for our lunch stop, but we come from the other direction. This is an ideal place for lunch because you can see we've got plenty of dockage. But what you can't see is inside is the restaurants and a tremendous amount of retail locations. We love Hemingway's, and they've done a great job. This is where we're going to be having our lunch today. Of course, there's also a Hooters here for a more casual format, but either way, you're going to have fun when you arrive here at this destination. Well, I can see here that most of the front runners have arrived, but there's still a lot of boats out on the course, so let's get back out and see who's on their way in. And all by herself here, Jackie and I, along with a couple of our FPC girls, running in Project 1080 and hitting a big giant wake right about the moment the helicopter came down. But of course, that 38-foot cigarette hull doesn't mind the big waves. That big heavy Top Gun isn't the fastest boat out there, but certainly with those Mercury Racing 540s, she's very reliable and will always get us where we're headed. And here's a newcomer to the fleet. This is Victor Canella from Louisiana. Another Fountain center console. This one a 2011 model, 38 Sportfish center console powered by triple Mercury 350 Verados. And let's welcome back Weston and Amber Bass from Louisiana. 39-foot cigarette twin step Top Gun team change order. We've seen this boat on so many FPC events, including the Bahamas. Nice to have this team here in Orange Beach, Alabama. And let's say hi to Keith Rockman and his crew from the Florida Panhandle. They've done the Emerald Coast Poker Run many times. Want to congratulate them on their newest boat, this 34 Sensation CCX, powered by triple Mercury 400s. And certainly one of the biggest boats here on this run, Octavio and Karen Valdivia, in their 51-foot Outer Limits Blue Bayou. They mix their time between home in Georgia and their home in Florida, which just happens to be right here in Pensacola. And now let's welcome Tony Gafford from Louisiana. He's another one of our team players here who's in a Baja 33. We've got 4 Bajas on the run. This one, Team Bad Boys, has a great custom paint job. Love the look of this boat. And congratulations, guys. I commend you for wearing your life jackets. And let's say hi to another one of our local teams, John Coletta from Alabama, in his Hustler 38 Slingshot model. It's called Team Card Hustler. I got a chance to get a closer look at this boat, and I must say John really takes care of it. It was almost like she was brand new. And let's welcome Kim Smith and his crew from Texas in their 34-foot Nortex center console, Mr. Bubbler. I want to say this was a big lifestyle change for this family. They used to run around in a 46-foot racing skater. What a change to this 34 Nortex center console. Robbie and Anjum Ula are from Georgia, and they started doing poker runs with us at the Emerald Coast a few years back. I know that Robbie had recently re-rigged this boat with some bigger outboard power, and the boat is just running fantastic. It's a fast little ride. And Paul Bertucci did not have to travel very far to join us. He's from Gulfport, Mississippi. Today, Paul is joined by his lady T, as well as Mark and Eileen Fisher, owners of Deep Impact Custom Boats, which is one of our sponsors of this Poker Run event. And let's welcome another sponsor, again, Stephen and Kelly Marina from Alabama, and Team Twin Ladies, a 35-foot DCB powered by Mercury Racing 1100s. As we catch up with now the late Mike Pierce from Louisiana, who attended in his 388 skater called Team Pure Platinum, along with Bill Pyburn. We are now just getting situated at the final stop, which is the Pirates Cove. It's a pretty cool place. Everyone in these waters knows exactly where it is, and it's probably at one point was everyone's favorite stop. And what they really lacked here was docking, and since the last time I was here, they added a much larger pier, which makes it easier to bring in a lot of boats. So we had plenty of room for everybody to come in, but it just does take a little while and some patience with the fenders out and the lines ready, and we were able to get everybody accommodated. And so far, it's been a great day of boating. We pretty much have completed the course. It's still a lot of daylight left, so it's a great time to just leave the hatches open, let the engines cool off, and have some fun with our boating friends.
Well, so far, it's been a great run today, all the way to Pensacola offshore. I was so glad that the winds laid down, and it gave us a chance to get out of the heat and out of the ICW and out there offshore for some great running. Those swells were about 3 to 4 foot, but they were big, so you could run fast. I mean, for us, it was about 55, 60, and that got a lot of air. I'm sure that the guys with the cats were running faster than that, and I'm sure they were getting a lot of air too. But it was a great ride. Got inside and had a nice lunch over there at Pensacola Boardwalk at Hemingway's. I think they did a great job. I know some people went over to Hooters as well, but now we're at the world-famous Pirates Cove. What a great stopover. You know, we just got about a 10-mile ride back to the wharf from here, so this is a good place to pretty much end the run for the day, for the Friday. Of course, we're going to do it all again tomorrow with the second poker run, all part of our new format here at Orange Beach.
And after our final stop at Pirates Cove, it was only about a 10-mile ride down to the wharf as all the boats began to arrive now to settle in for the night. And I think that we all can agree, and no matter how you measure it, this was a fabulous day of boating. Just the right amount of distance, in my opinion. I think we did about 85 total miles of boating, half of them offshore and the other half on the intracoastal or protected waterways. And I think that that's a good mix that everyone seems to like. Whether you're in a center console or a big performance V-bottom or even a catamaran, about 80 to 85 miles is a nice day of boating, especially when you have a lot of stopovers. And remember, we only chose the locations that could handle a large number of boats. There are so many other places here in Orange Beach for boaters to visit. It really is a boater's playground. And we're back now for our second night in a row at the port. Once again, our private venue here at the wharf, and just walking distance from our condominiums or hotels right on property. And that's what made this a very special venue in so many ways. So let's talk about the agenda for the Friday night party. And we have adopted this agenda on so many other events. This is Sponsor Appreciation Night. And we also have a charity fundraising on the agenda because we are raising proceeds for a local chapter of JDRF, which is Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So we're going to dedicate most of the evening to acknowledging all of our sponsors, and that's why we have all those beautiful plaques that we send home with them. And between the silent auction items that people could bid on, in addition to the judging proceeds that we had from the night earlier, if you wanted to be a judge of the Miss Powerboat Week contest, you made a donation to sit and judge. So we were already up to well over $4,000 halfway through the evening, and this later brought us to the proceeds of, I think it was about $5,700 by the time the event was concluded, which isn't bad for our first time here in Alabama.
Can we have the best hand now? We're going to get that done right now. We're going to do the award, and we're going to give away that paddleboard along with the silver cup, along with some other nice prizes.
Robert Keys and Trisha Keys, you are the winners for the Friday night party. Club Flush wins tonight. Thank you for coming out tonight. Tomorrow morning, everybody, 10 o'clock.
Well, that was a great way to wrap up a Friday evening, but remember, we're going to do it all over again on Saturday because this is the first time ever that we have staged a 2 poker run format back-to-back, one on Friday and one on Saturday. This time we're going to be going in a different direction, westbound, down the intracoastal water to Mobile Bay. So in our next episode, we're going to have all of the feature coverage of poker run number 2, which would be technically day number 4 of this 5-day boating festival here, Orange Beach Powerboat Week, presented by The Wharf. We hope you enjoyed part 2 of our 3-part series featuring coverage of the Orange Beach Powerboat Week. This is Stu Jones. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube. Remember to click the subscribe box here on this channel and click that notification bell so you get all of the updates every time a new episode is released. You can find us on social media. On Facebook, it's Florida Powerboat Club. On Instagram, we use these different channels, and remember, we have @Alabama Powerboat, which is our new Instagram feed for all of the activities surrounding this exciting event. You can also check out our website at flpowerboat.com and find all the information about upcoming events as well as membership to the Florida Powerboat Club. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember to be safe out there, respect your fellow boater, and always wear your life jackets. See you next time. The Florida Powerboat Club's Poker Run event series and these YouTube episodes are presented by Mercury Racing Wide Open and by OffLeaseOnly.com, the nation's used car destination, along with these leading marine industry sponsors.